2TC is an achievement in Balloons Tower Defense 6 where you can complete a CHIMPS game, but you can only use 2 towers to get said achievement, and today we're going to be doing this with the Spirit of the Forest and the Dank Champion. So it's only possible on this map that you can get this particular combination because of the fact of the green camo round 24 being the means that will stop the run normally. But because of the crusher, we can crush the green balloon that summons around 24. I'm really confident about doing this without any failures, that we're doing this without rules, which means this is a normal game of chimps, a very risky maneuver if you want to try and get a 2TC with a particular combo. We need hard thorns for the lead pops and the additional pierce, and we need thorn swarm for the additional thorns that will summon out each time the druid attacks in a shotgun-like formation. Sometimes we can snipe balloons over here if we are aiming out this way, so that can sometimes save a particular run. And this run, why did you not attack that green balloon? Let's go on last temporarily so that we can hit as many of these as we can and then go back to first. But honestly, I feel like our targeting is okay. That really was the saving factor there. Not hugely an issue, but can sometimes be an issue, especially with rounds like this. Honestly, I wish you would just target them. There we go. Okay, that's the last one to worry about. That particular devilish yellow, that is always annoying for me. I always die by yellow balloons more than any other kind of balloon if you're familiar with my videos on the channel. Okay, more yellow balloons. Honestly, I'm just going to chomp these ones. I'm not worried about the one around 24 as in like the camo balloon, because this will come back up in time. So, when it comes to the Super Monkey, we'll be able to summon it down on either the end of this round or the beginning of next round. But all these green balloons, which is very good, because we can handle all of these with just the Druid. No, we're not going to use that. We're going to use this instead. And because of the crusher, sorry, we're able to pop the camo balloon around 24, which means that any particular combinations which suffer a lack of camo popping potential very early on in the game can utilize this to help you save up that little bit of extra money needed. So next up will be knockback and then ultra vision, because we can't rely on this crusher forever for camo pops. Here is the pesky green balloon in general. Chomp! And there goes your Santa hat while you're at it as well. Very odd place, your random splots of snow. Round 27 has lots of reds, blues, greens, and yellows. And then from blues summons reds, green summons blues and reds, and yellows, greens, blues, and reds. Okay, we've got a knockback, and then as soon as we get 1295 monkey money, we will definitely get Ultra Vision. Ultra Vision is now secured, and the camos around 33 are no longer a pesky issue. However, we're going to get Dark Knight before we get Laser Blast and Plasma Blast, because of the factor of round 45 and 48 having a camo purple issue. For a few balloons here, pinks can be very menacing if they're not checked over, and that is round? Yeah, that's definitely round. We'll just go to Druid of the Jungle just to be safe here. We have a few little issues here and there sometimes when it comes to just balloons that straggle up here, but with the Druid of the Jungle, hopefully, as long as they're not a camo balloon, we can deal with all that. Round 39, how are we going to fare on this round? Hopefully we get the money for a Dark Knight, but if not, then we can still take out the Moab regardless. There we go, there's Dark Knight. Extra damage against Moabs and extra pierce to boot with it. Against everything really. It also does increase knockback, which is very nice. No, this is not me discovering what a particular upgrade can do for the first time. I just like looking at the description of upgrades because it gives you a little bit of additional insight, or just insight in general, as to what the upgrade does. But because of certain upgrades, like say with Flying Fortress, it's not that descriptive. but I heard that the image that the Flying Fortress has gives you some kind of description of what that particular upgrade does. Round 48, we have ourselves, here we go, camo regrow purples. If we were to upgrade to laser blasts and plasma blasts, even like, let's say, laser blasts, we wouldn't be able to deal with those at all. So therefore we have to hold back on our desire to purchase it, just so that we can actually pop the camo purples, because this is our only means of popping camo purples at this given point in time. Soon this will be when it goes to Spirit of the Forest, but we have another 23k or so left to save up. More camo balloons, more means to just rely on our super monkey to try and get through this scenario. After all, Batman is the knight, and he can see all, including these pesky camo balloons. I tried doing a Superstorm Dark Champion on this map, but round 62, but also subsequently round 59, you need 203 in order to deal, sorry, actually just in general 202 to deal with the camo leads, because this at its current stage, when going towards Superstorm, is not at Superstorm, so you have to solely rely on a Plasma Blast Super Monkey in order to be able to deal with lead balloons, which are camofied. But then when it comes to round 62, you need the other variant, which is 002, in order to be able to deal with the purples that are on the round. There are hundreds of them. If you can unupgrade upgrades at certain times, then maybe you'll be able to go through certain scenarios. But alas, once you receive something, or once you click that button to get it, you cannot reavert your decision. It is like a phone contract. Once you say yes, there's no going back. The only reason why Jungle's Bounty does so well against purple balloons is because water can rapidly pop them, even if they are not within the range here. And speaking of range, we could deal with all these pesky ceramics, even if they escape the range of our dank knight. We now have Spirits of the Forest, which means, like, a large portion of this game is now fully resolvable thanks to the Spirit of the Forest itself. Like BFBs, fortified BFBs, ZOMGs, they will all be fully popped by the Spirit of the Forest itself. This is one of my favorite towers throughout the entire game. Its map-wide coverage and its seemingly infinite pierce means that no matter which end of the track a balloon is on, as long as it has hard thorns, which grants the thorns that spawn on the ground the ability to pop lead balloons and frozen balloons, this can damage any kind of balloon regardless of where they are on the map. I believe the only time that they can't damage something is when they're being chucked away by a tornado or by one of the creepy items that Geraldo has, to a point in which it is off the track and going towards a previous part of the track. But then if it's not camofied, then the normal attacks that this thing does outside of its like ground fawn form can reach to them anyways. As the year 2023 is coming to a close, what has been your most exciting part about 2023, whether it's a personal accomplishment or seeing somebody else achieve something? Because it's very important to acknowledge the accomplishments of other people around you, especially those that you're very close to. Let's say a close friend, a family member. It's always very important to celebrate their accomplishments as well as yours, because sometimes what one can do is get so self-absorbed by their own activities and stuff like that we forget to look at those around us, because in most cases, those around us, those close to us, they help us shape into the person that we are today. Like good things or difficult things. Any challenge that you've come across and you've been able to triumph over has made you into a better person. For me personally, 2023 has been a very mixed year, to be honest. Like, entering my 30s, like, I've got to kind of think about what it is that I want to do in the future, because we've all only got a finite amount of time, and I'd love to make the absolute most of it, aside from when trying to recover from a cold or anything like that. And then I do have to spend a week or so or more recovering from that, and hopefully be able to try and do a 8 till 4 without fainting or anything like that, which has not happened yet. But I imagine that there are people out there that have to work regardless of how they feel just to be able to make ends meet, and there are people out there, unfortunately, that have to work regardless of how they're feeling. Like, they could be on the brink of collapsing, but unfortunately, because of the position that they are in life, unfortunately, they still have to work, even if they cannot physically do so, because of their house demands, their family demands, and stuff like that. And sometimes it's an incredibly cruel world. In some cases, it's a world in which can be less cruel if you make it less cruel for yourself. But in other ways, it feels like certain factors in life are just predetermined from the get-go. Your environment, the country in which you are grown up in, and the current state of it. Like, you could be in a peaceful country, or you could be in a war-torn country, and everything around you is dust or anything that was once a strong foundation of peace and prosperity. And 2023, we have had at least 2 warfares, one that was currently ongoing since the start of 2022, and another one that is currently engulfing in the Middle East. And I'm like, all of these different factors you have to kind of put into perspective towards your own, because you may never know when a war will sprout up. Like, how close would it be to home? Because it's very easy to brush it to one side because it doesn't directly affect you. But when something like this, when like that directly affects you, you have to take in a lot of considerations towards those that you would think, well, I didn't really consider you, because what you're going through right now is not something that is geographically affecting me. But now, because it is geographically affecting me, I've got to really consider my stance on those that are in the unfortunate state of having a war-torn environment around them. And the environment that you grow up in largely affects how you are today. If you're always grown up in a war-torn scenario, then sometimes the only thing that you know is suffering around you. Also, we got a dark champion as well, which is lovely. Our setup is complete. When you see the end result, you will only ever see number of towers 2. I will grant that. Even though we have all of these other things at our disposal, we will not be doing so under any circumstances, okay? Even if it means we have to sacrifice the Spirit of Christmas by not placing down Slay Churchill. Round 90, Spirit of the Forest suffers against DDTs, which is where our dank champion comes into play. And actually, a better spot for it would be up here, because we want to reach Marble class balloons as soon as possible. Let's go strong, actually, so that this being primarily targets Marble class balloons. And the lovely thing about Dark Champion is that it's like either it's sharp objects, or it's plasma based objects, or it's laser based objects. Well, they're all of the normal type of damage, which means it can target any kind of balloon. Is that it ricochets from its target towards a nearby balloon, which makes it so that you can fully utilize the pierce of it if there are a lot of balloons nearby. And also, on the topic of war-torn places, it was probably very poor to select Churchill as our hero here, because Captain Churchill is in a tank, which is not the best timing of things. But positive, negative, all different factors of life, they all shape us in different ways. And even though you're not directly affected by it, you're always thinking of those who are unfortunately directly affected by it, because it's like, What if that happens to me? What if I go through a certain scenario like that? That is something that is quite literally irreversible in some cases, because the experience, even if you survive the ordeal, will always be with you regardless. Round 96 is going through. Now round 97, we've got... This is probably actually the first stage outside of DDTs, which the Spirit Force on its own would struggle with. Let's just go with Hard Thunder because we can. It's not necessary, but if you want that a little bit more electricity, then go ham with the Spirit of the Forest. Round 98. Yeah, this is definitely the biggest asset right now. Dark Champion is handling the Moabs, and the Spirit of the Forest is handling the little ones. The ceramics. Round 99. Yeah, this is definitely 100% not a tower to use against DDTs, which is the beloved Spirit of the Forest. Okay, round 100. Let's see what we can do against the bad, and that is a lot. Let's teleport our Dark Champion friend over here so that we can affect the bad even when it goes over here. And then when it goes up here, we can transport the Dark Champion over onto this box over here, actually. So once it's outside of its range, we will teleport it. Make it warp out and into reality. It's weird about the concept of teleportation, because you have to make yourself deatomized and then reatomized at another point. So that is towers placed. Only two towers placed. And aside our hiccup on round 14 with our targeting priority with the 110 Druid at that given point in time, that is a black border guide towards Scrapyard by using these two towers. But it was unfortunate that we had to change our targeting priority so that we could actually pop round 14 with just Druid, because obviously we couldn't purchase the super monkey at that given point in time. But thankfully we have a crusher here in order to actually crush balloons. But thankfully it doesn't crush the vines in which have grown on the track, which would be very silly if that was the case. Like Ninja Kiwi, whatever you do, if you're listening to me, do not add in the feature where if you use the crusher, it also crushes the vines on the track, okay? So thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to give this video a like, comment, and subscribe. And if you do so, you have 6 times more chances of getting a tier 5 tower from that diamond crate that you keep on opening. Speaking of stuff, I've not really hugely progressed into this collection event because I'm just not excited about them nowadays. Like, the prospect of a 5% chance of getting a tier 5 tower doesn't excite me. And I'd love to make a wish list of what I'd love to see in 2024. Like 10 things I would love to see in 2024 that Ninja Kiwi implements into Bloons Tower Defense 6. Because I have a fair few ideas as to how this game can be improved. And one of them is down to collection events and also inserts. And the ways of trying to, I don't know, let's say if you've got 7 of these and you've got none of these. Can you swap like 3 of these, 4 of these, and transfer as like 1 of these? And then go from there. It has to be where you have to use more than what you get. But what you get is something that you could be missing towards your collection events. Because at the moment, I've only got gold borders on some of them. Gold borders means you've got every tier 1 to tier 4, which excludes tier 5s. But if you get all the tier 5s, then that equivalates to a black border, in which you get this sparkles that go around the borders of it, but it's in the form of the Insta Monkeys. Of course, you get sparkles on these, but the black borders just look much better than the gold borders. Sorry. Thank you so much for watching. This has been a 2-tower chimps video, something that I've not done in quite a while. I've been pursuing 2 megapops on this channel quite recently to try and get every single beginner map completed with a 2 megapop scenario. Last one to do is skate. Thank you all so much for watching, everybody, and take care of yourselves.